In this video, I want to share with you 10-step process that will help you to fix a disturbed relationship. The first step is willingness. Ask yourself and your partner if both of you are willing to work on relationships, are willing to stay committed, are willing to work on all the problems and keep their ego aside. If there is no willingness, if there is no choice of going through the struggle with you or with them, then everything you do is worthless. Getting into arguments, getting into fight, it is simply worthless. So if this is the case, if there is no willingness to do anything, then just walk away. The second is awareness. Develop self-awareness of the problems that are going on in the relationship, the part you took in creating the problem and the part they took in creating the problem. In India, we have the saying that we cannot clap with one hand, right? So even if your partner cheated on you, even if they left you in the blue, still you have to have an open mind to inspect yourself, inspect your own actions, because there would be something that has caused the relationship to go to that point. You did something, you behaved in certain ways, maybe you were emotionally unavailable, whatever, but there is something in you that triggered the relationship to go into devastation. So increase your self-awareness and also increase the awareness of the situations in the relationship and ask the other person to do self-reflection as well. This doesn't mean that you have to stay with the person in relationship who has cheated you. It simply means that even if you choose to walk away and get a new life, it simply means that you need to reflect on your own self. There could be something because of which the other person decided to behave the way they did. So self reflection is always something that will give you more strength, will give you more awareness and make you more humble, lessening your ego that might create a lot of conflicts in the future. The third is to understand the practicality of love. Let go of the idea that love should be unconditional. I was reading this book on couples therapy in which the author says that love in his perspective is just the ability to perform in a way, to conduct ourselves in a way in which we fulfill the desires of the other person. Basically, he says that we cannot give love because that is an impractical idea. What we can give is a behavior, a set of behaviors, the way we talk, the way we behave in a relationship, all these things that make the other person feel as if they are loved. So your focus should be on projecting behaviors that indicate that the other person is loved and desired in the relationship. And love needs to be sustained through efforts. You have to give continuous efforts into projecting your behaviors that satisfy the other person's need. When you take care of the other person's need and they in return take care of your needs, your desires, the love remains, the love sustains. If it is one-sided, if the efforts are one-sided, it will never sustain. And the efforts need to be intelligent. If you are projecting your love in a way the other person doesn't understand, then it is of no use. For example, the person doesn't really value giving gifts or receiving gifts, and you are showering them with gifts, and at the end of the day you feel as if you are loving the other person. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to love the other person or communicate through behaviors to the other person in a way they understand. So if it is quality time to them, if it is touch to them, you have to behave in accordance with that. The fourth step is to become absolutely clear of what are your desires in a relationship, and the other person should also be absolutely clear on what are their desires in a relationship. Now you have to be very cautious that you do not put unnecessary things in those values, in the core values, because it can be very distracting to put everything that comes to your mind. No, you have to focus on things that are non-compromisable, such as quality time, physical touch, words of appreciation, etc. But if you have unrealistic desires, such as you should call me 10 times a day, you should never go out with your friends, now these are not very core values. So be absolutely clear of what you desire in a relationship. What do you want to feel in a relationship that will make you feel good about yourself, that will make you feel desired, and ask that same thing to the other person as well. The next step is to have controlled non-offensive communication, meaning you have to put your desires in a way that the person feels as if they need to work on it, not as if you are blaming them. Because when you communicate your desires and your need in a relationship, it becomes very confusing to the other person, and sometimes they take it offensively. Sometimes they think that you are complaining about the relationship and you are not appreciating anything that they do. So instead, you have to communicate in a way which is non offensive, which doesn't put the other person in a defensive mode. Otherwise, everything will go in vain. All the effort that you are taking to clarify your values, clarify your needs, understand the practicality of relationships, it will go all in vain if you don't understand this thing. Next step is to understand the cause of resistance. Now you have communicated the needs to your partner. High chances are there that they will be resistant to give in to your demands or your desires. There could be million different reasons for it, but it is just because of change, right? We do not want to change. We want to keep working in the way that we are used to. So now you are in a relationship with that person for many years, and it has just become so habitual to not give each other's time, uh, give abusive words to each other. So it is very out of character and out of pattern to ask them for something which you value. So you have to give time, and you have to understand why they are being so resistant to it. Address their concerns, clarify their misunderstandings, and work on their resistance. The next step is to break the vicious cycle. Everyone who is in a relationship which is disturbed will have this vicious cycle wherein you feel dissatisfied, then you conduct yourself in a way that makes the other person upset, then they feel dissatisfied and they feel prompted to behave in a way that further makes you feel dissatisfied. So it is a circle. So there is no coming back to the center. You have to be very vigilant of this vicious cycle and become aware of what is causing it, and you need to clear the misunderstanding so that this vicious circle stops. The next is to replace irrational belief systems. Now, irrational belief systems are the major causes of all relationship troubles. Okay, you might have the musts and shoulds in your mind which dictate that this is how the relationship should work. For example, you have a must that your partner must accept you unconditionally. Now, this is a very unrealistic, irrational belief, because you might do certain things, you might behave in certain ways, you might have habits that are not good for the relationship or for the entire dynamic of the situation, and then you expect that your partner should accept you for that. No, it doesn't work that way. If there is something wrong with you, you have to work on it, right? So this irrational belief that you must be loved unconditionally, this is creating a lot of problems. So identify such beliefs in yourself and your partner, and go study the ABC model of cognitive behavioral therapy, in which it says basically says that events do not cause our feelings. Events do not cause our feelings. So we have to focus on our interpretation of the event that causes our feeling. By changing the interpretation, we change the consequences, we change the feelings that we experience in a relationship. The next step is to overcome your insecurities. There could be 100 different insecurities in you, but become aware of what are the specific insecurities. Maybe your partner goes out with his friends and you feel insecure that he doesn't put you in the priority. You need to address these insecurities, because unless you address these insecurities, the problems will keep on coming again and again. So maybe your partner stops going out with his friends, but what next thing he does is talk to someone on his phone, and you become insecure again, and the same fights, same arguments come back again. So work on your insecurities. And the last step is relentless and intelligent giving, which means that you focus on giving. The more you give, the more your partner feels loved, and the more they will be motivated to give you back. Now, if they are not willing to do this relationship, if they are not willing to be with you, then that is a different case. No matter how much you give, you won't receive anything in return. So it is always about giving more. The more you give, the more the other person feels for you, the more they will start to appreciate as well. So without giving, if you focus on taking, you will end up with nothing, because people who take are eliminated, people who take are abandoned. This is just the law of universe. You will see that everything over here gives, because by taking you become valueless, by taking you become useless, you are not contributing to anything, and you are not building anything. So naturally you become something which is not worthy to be in a relationship with. So these people are always discarded. The people who are the takers, they are always discarded. So ask yourself, if you are in the seat of taking, why are you taking so much? Are you feeling insecure? Are you lazy? Are you procrastinating? Have you stopped valuing the other person? Have you stopped loving the other person? What is the reason that is making you so passive in the relationship that you end up alone all the time? Or you might end up sabotaging the relationship even if you care about the person. See, love is not intention. You might have the purest and the noblest of intentions, but when it doesn't work out in action, it is not going to produce any results. So these were the 10 steps to fix disturbed relationships. In the comment section, let me know what you think. Let me know where you are stuck so that I can help out in the comments. Also, let me know what are the topics you might want me to discuss with you on this channel, and I will see you in the next video.